So it turns out I'm not the only one who thinks Canelo is an arrogant piece of shit.
Is Canelo Alvarez too arrogant to fight the best? Or is Edgar Berlanga the underdog ready to shatter his legacy?
Turkey Al-Sheikh recently revealed that Canelo refused to meet with him in person and isn't entertaining any deals to be done with him. Why? Because he's outpriced himself so much that the Saudis don't even want to deal with him.
As tensions rise and egos clash, the September 14th showdown could redefine boxing history. Who's walking away with their pride intact and who's getting humbled?
And you soft. Deep down inside in that little heart, you soft. I just seen a thing he said, an interview. I was like, nah, this dude's crazy. He just put out an interview saying that he's a good fighter, he's a dangerous fighter, he's big.
Get ready for the most explosive battle of the year. I've got some things to say.
And it's all because he will do anything not to fight David Benavidez. Look, Turkey is trying to make the best fights that everybody wants to see. And Canelo continues to take the fights that nobody wants to see.
So, it turns out I'm not the only one who thinks Canelo Alvarez might be a little too full of himself. Word on the street is that Turkey Alec, one of the most influential promoters in the game, revealed that Canelo has flat out refused to meet with him. No deals, no negotiations, nothing. And why? Because Canelo has priced himself so high that even the Saudis are backing off. And all of this just to avoid a fight with David Benavidez.
Canelo, you're really making the wrong enemies. But you know what?
Oscar De La Hoya said, "Oh, hello again. Guess what time it is? Time for your new favorite 5 minutes of the week, Clapback Thursdays. This actually might be my favorite one so far. It turns out I'm not the only one who thinks Canelo is an arrogant piece of sh****.
Now that Turkey's not interested in that Canelo fight for Crawford, and I'll touch on that point. Did you guys discuss it all? Did you discuss with Turkey positioning Virgil to face Terrence next?
No, we haven't discussed anything with Turkey, but we feel that, look, Turkey wants to make the best fights. And that's a breath of fresh air. That's music to my ears. You know, because now you have fighters who are pricing themselves out and fighters who basically don't want to fight each other.
Turkey Alec recently revealed that Canelo refused to meet with him in person and isn't entertaining any deals to be done with him. Why? Because he's priced himself so high that even the Saudis don't want to deal with him. And it's all because he's doing everything he can to avoid fighting David Benavidez. Look, Turkey is trying to make the best fights that everybody wants to see, while Canelo continues to take fights that nobody wants to see. That brings me to Edgar Berlanga, who is fighting Canelo on September 14th.
And that, to me as a promoter, is the worst thing I can ever hear from a fighter. I'm pricing myself out. Just like Canelo versus Benavidez. Why can you not give us Canelo Benavidez? Why? Canelo, why? I do not understand it. You're demanding $200 million?
Now, he claims he has a whole country behind him. Edgar, bro, you're from Brooklyn. I think I'm more Puerto Rican than you are, and I only lived there for 6 years. Puerto Rico doesn't claim you, bro. And as I said weeks ago, this fight will not do well on September 14th, not only because the matchup is just okay, but because they're going up against the UFC's debut at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Now that's a spectacle that everyone and their mother has been waiting to see since it opened about a year ago. And who is funding it and making it all happen?
Give us the good fights. When you have Turkey, who is making the best fights, who literally wants to make the best fights, and he's forking over the bill, be my guest. Please, make more.
Turkey Alec. Canelo, you're really making the wrong enemies.
It's great for boxing. He's literally saving boxing, and this is what I've been talking about all along. He's a savior to the sport. He has deep pockets, obviously, and he wants to make the best fights happen.
But you know what? Speaking of exciting fights, over the weekend, we saw Terrence Crawford move up a weight division and face Israel Madoff in a really close fight. And I bring this up because maybe Virgil Ortiz is looking at positioning himself against Terrence Crawford if he beats Serge Bohec this weekend here in Las Vegas. I mean, did that thought cross your mind, Oscar? Yeah, absolutely. It's the prize we're all looking for, the fight we all want to see. I strongly feel that this fight on Saturday night between Virgil and Bohec is going to be a candidate for Fight of the Year. When you look at it on paper, you see all those knockouts, and there's something in Bohec's eyes that's scary. But then there's Virgil Ortiz, with that tinge of crazy in his eyes. Oh yeah, it's going to be one of those great fights you don't want to miss. And now that Turkey Alec isn't interested in the Canelo fight for Crawford, I have to ask, Oscar, did you guys discuss positioning Virgil to face Terence next? No, we haven't discussed anything with Turkey, but we feel that Turkey wants to make the best fights, and that's a breath of fresh air. It's music to my ears. Because now, you have fighters who are pricing themselves out and others who don't want to fight each other.
Imagine all these fights taking place, right? Like this Saturday night, Bohec Ortiz. Imagine if Canelo and Benavidez gets made. That's the Super Bowl of boxing. Boxing is on the rise. Canelo, don't screw it up for us.
As a promoter, that's the worst thing I can ever hear from a fighter, pricing themselves out, just like Canelo with Benavidez. Why can't we get Canelo versus Benavidez? Why, Canelo? Why? I don't understand it. Demanding $200 million? Come on, dude, stop being arrogant. It's like a bargaining chip. He knows it's a risk because Benavidez weighs 25 more pounds than him on fight night, and he knows it's a big fight. Of course, the purse should be more, but basically, Canelo doesn't want to give us the good fights. When you have Turkey making the best fights, literally trying to save boxing, and then Canelo doesn't give us the best fights. Canelo, don't screw this up for us. So, in terms of Turkey saying he's not interested in that Canelo fight, and then Canelo responding, saying on Tuesday in LA that he doesn't like Turkey's tone, claiming he's the star and that he dictates the terms, what do you make of that dynamic? I feel like there's a lot of headbutting going on. In other words, Canelo is saying, I don't want to fight. I never thought I'd say this, but it seems like Canelo is scared. As a fighter, I know fighters aren't supposed to be scared, but wow, we've been begging Canelo for this fight. Please, Canelo, please. I want it as a fan and because it's a great fight for boxing, for the sport we love. Turkey's making the best fights, and Canelo isn't giving us the best fights. Now, in terms of Crawford moving up to 154 and having a close fight against Madoff, some people are questioning whether we should throw the Canelo fight out the door because of what happened at 154. Are we overlooking how skillful Madoff is? I think we are overlooking how skillful he is, how powerful he was. At 154, Crawford didn't look too dangerous, but against a beast like Canelo, it's almost like a no contest. I mean, come on, when has a smaller good guy ever beaten a good bigger guy? It just doesn't happen. But I strongly feel that Turkey is trying to clean up the sport, unify it, and make the best fights happen. He's getting all the promoters to work together, he's funding the big fights, he's great for boxing. He's literally saving the sport. And as for Crawford, did you feel he won that fight, Oscar? I didn't see it carefully, but a lot of people tell me it was a close fight. I've always said that you have to beat the champion to become the champion. He got the win, he got the W, so let's move on to the next big thing. Whatever happens this Saturday night will determine what's at stake for Virgil's future and Crawford's future. My last question for you, Oscar. Do you want to put Virgil in against Terence Crawford after this fight if he wins? I wouldn't mind seeing that. We'll have to see what happens on Saturday night, sit down with Virgil, and see what he wants to do. But I have no doubt that Virgil wants to fight the very best, including Crawford. It's a great fight, and I love his chances. Virgil Ortiz has great pedigree, a great amateur career, 21-0 with 21 knockouts. He's a beast, and as his level of competition grows, he grows too. We haven't seen the best of Virgil Ortiz yet. If a Crawford versus Ortiz fight takes place, it'll be another Super Bowl of boxing. Canelo Alvarez has been the face of boxing for years, but recent decisions in his fight selection have sparked controversy. Many fans and analysts accuse Canelo of dodging tougher opponents like David Benavidez, opting instead for what some consider softer fights. The upcoming bout against Edgar Berlanga is no exception.
He comes over 20 pounds. I'm like, yo, bro, you just made yourself look like the biggest in boxing. Because now I'm thinking about it, right? I'm like, wait. I'm like, nah, he's probably not even scared of him. But now, after seeing an interview that he did the other day, and he said, no, he's a great fighter, he's dangerous, he's big, he comes over 20. Like, he's the same weight as you at 168. So what does it matter if y'all win on Friday at 168? What does it matter? He jumps up 15, 20 pounds. You jump up the same weight, bro. So what's the difference here? It's now he's super.
Despite Berlanga's undefeated record, many see this as an easy win for Canelo. But why is Canelo avoiding these tougher matchups? The answer might lie in his strategy. Canelo is known for his meticulous planning, and at 34 years old, with 65 fights under his belt, he's focusing on fights that guarantee big paydays while minimizing risk. As Canelo himself said, "If the money is right, I'll fight anyone." Edgar Berlanga, with a record of 22-0, 17 KOs, is a rising star. He burst onto the scene with a string of first-round knockouts, but his performances have been less impressive as he faced tougher competition. Berlanga has been vocal about his belief that he can dethrone Canelo, citing his boxing IQ as a key advantage. However, Canelo laughed off these claims, dismissing Berlanga's intelligence compared to legendary fighters like Floyd Mayweather and Miguel Cotto. At the recent press conference, tensions boiled over. Berlanga and Canelo exchanged heated words, with Canelo taunting Berlanga, saying, "You think I'm scared of you? You are nothing."
This is our main event, September 14th. Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga meets for the WBA, WBC, and WBO Super Middleweight World Titles.
This face-off ended with the two having to be separated by security.
All right, gentlemen, if we can take our seats.
Despite the trash talk, oddsmakers still have Canelo as the overwhelming favorite, with Berlanga seen as a significant underdog. Switching gears, let's talk about the growing influence of Turki Al-Sheikh in the boxing world. Known for his deep pockets and passion for the sport, Al-Sheikh is quickly becoming a key figure in arranging major fights, particularly in Saudi Arabia. This could be a game-changer for the sport, as it opens up new markets and opportunities for fighters. Al-Sheikh has been involved in organizing some of the biggest fights in recent memory, including those involving Canelo. His influence is seen as a double-edged sword. While it brings more money and attention to the sport, it also raises questions about the integrity of matchmaking and the motivations behind certain fight decisions. And Edgar Berlanga talks Canelo showdown and disrespect. On the other hand, today, we're diving deep into the intense buildup for the September 14th showdown between Edgar Berlanga and the legendary Canelo Alvarez. At a recent press conference in Beverly Hills, Edgar Berlanga, the rising Puerto Rican star, didn't hold back. With a fiery demeanor, Berlanga addressed the crowd, making it clear that he's not here to play nice.
I know he's just chasing a bag. You know, right now he's towards the end of his career, so I know right now he's looking for any outlet, you know, to obviously chase the bag. You know, he was never signed with Maxim or the zone, so he was going fight by fight. But, you know, he's at that level where he can do whatever he wants. He's that dude. Eddie's a man, bro. We got to cross over and make something happen. We're going to definitely do it. You know, when everything's healthy, you know what I'm saying? We come out healthy tomorrow. You know, I want a big fight with McGee in October.
His energy was electric, and he made it known that the respect Canelo seeks from him just isn't there. Berlanga's energy in Beverly Hills was a stark contrast to his demeanor in New York, where he felt more at ease in his hometown. But the turning point? Canelo's smile. Edgar took that smile as an insult, a sign that Canelo might be underestimating him. To Berlanga, that was all the motivation he needed. As Canelo smiled and seemingly overlooked Berlanga, Edgar made it clear, this isn't a fight where respect is given before the first punch. We're in war mode, Berlanga emphasized. He sees the ring as a battleground, where it's kill or be killed. Edgar went on to say that he respects Canelo as a fighter, acknowledging his legendary status and the many champions he's defeated. But come September 14th, that respect is out the window. Berlanga, a proud Puerto Rican from New York, isn't about to bow down to anyone, not even Canelo. Berlanga's approach is rooted in his belief that a fight is a life-and-death situation. He's fully aware of the risks every boxer faces when stepping into the ring, drawing a parallel to tragic incidents like that of Pritchard Colon. For Berlanga, boxing is more than a sport. It's a serious business where the stakes couldn't be higher. When asked about Canelo's attitude and the potential disrespect, Berlanga didn't mince words. He knows Canelo views himself as the star of the show, but Edgar isn't just here to be a side act. He made it clear, this is his show too, and he's ready to prove it in the ring. With confidence, Berlanga spoke about his boxing IQ, comparing it to the likes of Floyd Mayweather. Canelo, on the other hand, seemed skeptical, but Berlanga sees this doubt as his greatest advantage. He's counting on Canelo to underestimate him, setting the stage for a shocking upset. Berlanga also touched on how he's been evolving as a fighter. In his last bout, he displayed a new level of poise, using his jab effectively and allowing the knockout to come naturally. He believes this mental and physical evolution will be crucial against a legend like Canelo. Looking ahead to fight night, Edgar confidently predicted a knockout in the 6th round. If Canelo opens up with his signature wide hooks or sneaky uppercuts, Berlanga is ready to counter with devastating precision. As fight night approaches, the tension between these two fighters only continues to build. Berlanga's candid thoughts on Canelo's recent interviews reveal his disdain for what he perceives as weakness. To Edgar, the idea of compassion in the ring is absurd. In his eyes, a true warrior shows no mercy. So, what do you think? Will Edgar Berlanga back up his bold words and shock the world on September 14th? Or will Canelo Alvarez solidify his legacy with another legendary performance? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Boxing Today for all the latest updates on this highly anticipated clash. Remember, boxing fans, stay tuned, stay hyped, and we'll see you ringside. Don't miss this historic showdown. Like, comment, and subscribe to Boxing Today for all the latest updates.